Well, hello, welcome to the Sheff United Way, and my name is Hal. Thank you very much for being part of the programme, and you know you are just by listening, watching, however you choose to consume this, either on YouTube or audio podcast. So, match preview, 16th place, West Brom versus 17th place, Sheffield United, and an 8 p.m. kickoff at the Hawthorns on Friday. Too many games. They really are coming extremely thick and extremely fast. And after 8 changes, saw some, enforced changes. Those ones, the sickness bug in the camp, that left Chris Wilder very little choice against Norwich City at Bramall Lane in our last match midweek. We saw a 1-1 draw. We saw Michael Cooper redeem himself, certainly for that poor showing at Leicester City. Although, when do we need to have a serious conversation about Michael Cooper's distribution? Because it is still not where I believe it should be. Danny Ings missed a couple of good chances for United, but did score his first goal since Stranger Things Series 4. Great to see Ollie Arblaster return after quite surprised to see him start this match at West Brom. Would you? Do you think that would just be too much of a risk? Would it break him? Of course, a bit of a concern, because you have to manage this crucial return, a tough one for him as well. As I'd perhaps rather have seen him introduced more gradually than just starting after so long on the sidelines. Gus Harmer, Brooks, Bamford, Campbell, they could have perhaps started in that Norwich game and then been replaced as they tired. I always think start your strongest team possible. Hopefully you're then in a winning position to make changes. Quick mention, though, for Chong. I thought he did really well. I remember Wilder and Neil saying how impressed they were with him when they returned again. In training, he apparently looked really good. Then he unfortunately got injured at a time when we know he would have been starting. I thought he did all right. Also, can we scrap Friday night games? Can I just throw that out there, particularly after a Tuesday night game? In fact, I'd say 100% after a Tuesday night game. This is madness for the match-going fans and for the players, and a depleted squad as well. Now, we are going to look at team news. We're going to talk about some of the things that have already come out about some players back, some players injured. I do want to give a shout out, though, to Sharon Shazbat, who is a friend of the channel and doing incredible work, not just supporting us, but she's a self-employed pyographer specializing in unique hand-burnt personalized wooden gifts. Check out her work, shazbatdesigns.co.uk. You can get a discount with the code SUW, which you put in at checkout, or just send her a message mentioning Sheff United Way. And Sharon has also decorated the Hendo's tree. This is pretty cool, the Henderson's Relish tree at Sheffield Cathedral. I think that's a really nice thing to do. It's great that she was asked to do it, and she was actually asked to do it following what they saw of her work via Sheff United Way. So you can go and see yourself the Hendo's tree. It's just one of many trees that have been decorated in Sheffield Cathedral, and you can vote for which one's your favourite. The money raised during the event does go to charity. Well done, Sharon, and well done, in fact, all involved in these different trees at the cathedral. Now, if we focus on this, I want your thoughts. I want your match predictions. And Matthew, who's involved live, saying, of course, you have a team. Anybody would think you had your team scrapped and having to have 16-year-olds on the bench, no squad, but can still play Ings and Bamford up top. Times must be hard. Yes, I think what Matthew's sort of saying is, compared with Wednesday, they are playing quite a few youngsters, certainly from the bench, and United a bit more of a bigger squad. But you'd expect that. The team's been in the Premier League much more recently. Now, Chris Wilder confirmed after the match that Peck missed that Norwich game due to a calf injury, whilst Sam McCallum and Riedeveld missed that game through illness. Sam McCallum now has had 50 Blades appearances. Doesn't always feel like that many, because Harrison Burrows has really been number one pick in that position. But Blades manager Chris Wilder, he has not given the exact details, the full extent of Peck's injury. He won't be drawn on that. We do know that McGuinness, though, also available again for selection. Ben Mee, again, he's being coy with that, had that operation on his hand. So we'll have to wait and see. I think that's very much kind of take it as you go and just see how Ben Mee gets on. So perhaps it'll be Cooper in goal, Sariki, Tanganga, Bindon and McCallum at the back. Then maybe Gus Harmer, Riedeveld, Chong. Does he stay in? Does Arblaster sit out? Does Callum O'Hare play? Campbell, Bamford, Does Ings deserve to continue after that goal? I asked this on Twitter. Do you dare try and predict the match lineup for West Brom away? Because it's really difficult, particularly with injuries and illness. Steve at Scuba178 says, I think it's going to be Cooper, Sariki, Tanganga, Bindon, Burrows, Brooks, Sumare, who unfortunately scored an own goal, Rudeveld, Harmer, Banford, Campbell. But I'm hoping he moves Gus to central midfield instead of Sumare and plays Callum O'Hare on the left side. Well, that's what Steve thinks. What do you think Chris Wilder will go with? Quick word from our sponsors on the channel, Sheff United Way. Delighted that IPM Group UK is the newest channel sponsor. IPM Group UK, South Yorkshire's experts in security, CCTV, and facilities management. They help keep stadiums, businesses, and events safe and running smoothly. Big thanks to IPM Group for supporting the channel and for supporting the Blades. Check them out, ipmgroupuk.com. Now, our opponents are West Bromwich Albion. They're managed by Ryan Mason, the former Spurs midfielder. They've dropped to 16th spot, the hosts, following back-to-back defeats, back-to-back Baggies defeats, not easy to say. And the Baggies' first season under the management of Ryan Mason has been a tough one, having only managed 25 points from their first 20 outings. Just 4 sides outside the relegation zone have scored fewer than their 22 goals. They now head into this one on a tough run. Maybe the Blades will be slight favourites with some bookmakers. And when you think West Brom have only won 1 of the last 5 games and collected 4 points in that time, while the last 2 games, as I say, have ended in defeat. They lost 3-1 away at Queen's Park Rangers at the weekend, a trip to Southampton then. That followed on Tuesday. And while they were able to claw a couple of goals back through Carlin Grant and Nat Phillips, the Baggies fell to a 3-2 defeat. And they're set to remain without a few key players. Collier and Jed Wallace through injuries. Midfielder Alex Mowat was forced off, so there's a fresh concern there. I don't know whether he'll be fit or not for Friday. Malumbe will come in, you think, to join Diakite. Nat Phillips, Chris Mepham, you'd imagine they'd continue their defensive partnership. We've been linked with both of those players in the past. Hegebo probably lead the line despite competition. Daryl DK and Josh Maja, both having scored 6 goals in the Baggies' last 6 championship games. Also, Mikey Johnson, a player we were linked with only last season, will hope to come in to support after Carlin Grant, Isak Price and Illing Jr. They were preferred midweek, but who knows? Maybe Mikey will be back in the starting lineup. West Brom's possible lineup: Wildsmith, Bielek, Phillips, Mepham, Styles, Diakite, Malumbe, I should say, Grant, Price, maybe Mikey Johnson, maybe Hegebo. I don't know. Let me know. If you're a Baggies fan, let me know what you think the lineup will be. It's always difficult when you are when you're watching these as a fan of Sheffield United, you're trying to pick an opposition's lineup. By the way, what do you think about these Friday nights, particularly after you've played a Tuesday? Am I crazy saying these have to be scrapped and they're totally unfair? What do you think? I would be interested to know your thoughts. The referee for this one is Matthew Donahue, and the referee for this game brought to you by our friends Parrot Peel. Do check out their new album, Pop Songs Your Mum Would Like, parrotpeel.com. They a lot of the guys at Parrot Peel are Blades, so we want to support them. But also their music's actually really good, and it's interesting speaking to the guys there that say that they can tell I've been listening because they can actually see the analytics. But parrotpeel.com, PARROTPEEL.com. Not sure how many people in Cyprus have been listening, but this call sign has. Now, as I mentioned, Matthew Donahue is from Greater Manchester. We've had him a lot. He's taken charge, though, of just 12 games this season. He's given 49 yellows, which is really high. He's only given 1 red, and that was 2 yellows. But when you're giving that many yellows, you'd expect at least one of them to become a red card. And he's only given 2 penalties. He's already reffed West Brom once this season in their 1-0 win at Stoke, which some people thought was a bit of a surprise win, especially as Stoke have been a little bit inconsistent, but at that point, they were fairly good. We know him. We haven't had him yet this season, but he is a name Sheffield United fans are familiar with. He reffed our 0-0 at Portsmouth last season, our 1-0 win at Millwall last season, our 2-1 defeat at Sunderland last season, and our 3-1 win at home against Middlesbrough last season. When he did give a penalty, you might remember he gave that to Borough. So we've had him a lot. We know this referee, and he's a referee that at times has really frustrated me. And I did mention how important the referee would be for the last game. And I thought, again, he didn't give too much in our favour. Now, we're going to come to score prediction. I want your score predictions. Share your score prediction. How's this one going to go? You might remember, I warned at the end of the last preview that we were all being overconfident. So many people saying 3-0, 3-1, 4-0. We were going to beat Norwich. I didn't feel that necessarily was going to be the case. I did think we'd win the game, but I thought it'd be really tight. Now, it was a tight game, but there were times in that match where I thought Norwich are going to win this. And really, had it not been for Cooper, they probably would. I remember Dean Henderson making a similar save at the Bramall Lane end, also against Norwich back in probably 2019. But anyway, it's a Norwich at the Lane thing. But patreon.com/Sheff United Way, if you do actually want to help the lads, all of us, and keep the lights on at Sheff United Way Towers. And you can also become part of our WhatsApp group. And in that, I always say, what do you think the score is going to be? So that's how I get lots of these in advance. And Scott says at 1-0 West Brom. Isn't it interesting what a result in midweek that doesn't necessarily... Is it going to be that way? Maybe it'll be a tougher match than we saw midweek, and perhaps West Brom. I mean, some of you are saying this. I mean, like Richard predicts 1-1. So does Matt. James says 2-1 West Brom. Ollie says, I think this is the one we lose. I'm also going to say 2-1 West Brom. What's going on? Can we have some positivity, please? What are you saying? Are West Brom going to win this? This is such a dramatic change in predictions to what I was reading out only a few days ago. This is what Ollie says. They've only got a good 45 minutes in them, but when they're on top, they do score goals, and I can see them getting ahead. 2-0 maybe at half-time and us coming back, but not enough. Wow. Laura's going 1-0 Blades, a squeaky bum time win. Nick is also saying just the 1-0 Blades win. Lewis thinks we'll win 2-1 finally. And Paul says 3-1 United. That's more like it. That's what I want to hear. A bit of positivity going into what I think we all recognise is going to be a very difficult away game. I want to thank all of you for watching, for getting involved, for listening to this match preview. If you don't already, check out our audio podcast, leave us a review. And like I always say, let's hope for another 3 points. It's realistically a season that we're probably going to look back on not too fondly, but there is still a chance. And while there is still a chance of doing something in a very weak championship, we've got to go for it. Up the Blades. Ollie, ollie, ollie.